Okay. Well, I've been out here working for, well, every day, and I realized instead of sending texts to Penny and Todd, you guys, I'm making this video instead, and I'll just upload it to YouTube and send it to you. I can probably cover quite a bit more in a video than rather than sending texts and pictures and trying to update with everything. I realized today, like I said, I've done so much stuff that I was like, hey, I'll make a video, kind of bring them up to speed. They'll get to, kind of like you're here, and I can explain some things and just go over this and that. So anyway, I sent you pictures before the long block was done. I sent you pictures. I put the transmission back in. It's got all new mounts and everything. And at the time, I had mentioned that I had planned to, clean up these axles because the axles connect the trans to the car, and you want to make sure there's no issues with them. And the ones that were in here were pretty solid. And so I had planned to go through them and reboot them and rebuild the joints. And you spend quite a bit of time doing that. I don't know, probably 4 or 6 hours or something total, doing them all. It's a quite a job. And when I went to go to my friend's shop to do it, because he has a big, huge solvent tank, he mentioned to me, he said, hey, I save a lot of time for people and I buy pre-built axles and they're already redone. I was like, oh, good idea. So I went to Myers and I went up there and told him what the car was, and I got axles. And I even sent you guys a picture of them. They were the wrong axles. And so then I went back there and told them, hey, these axles are wrong. And they looked them up and they said, NLA, no longer available. And everywhere I went, they don't have them. They're no longer available. There's only one place that I found that can get them, and that's the Thing Shop in Los Angeles. And they're like over $300 for the pair. So I said, all right, I'm just going to back out of that whole situation. And I came back and checked these over real good and cleaned them off and went ahead and repacked the joints with grease so you can see that there's the original axles. They're still in there, and they're clean. There's not really there's no binding in them or anything. And now the joints are all full of fresh grease in the whole 9 yards. Transmission's in, it's full of fresh fluid, new mounts. I cleaned up the engine bay. I've been working on that. As you can see, this is the old seals. Nobody ever replaced the seals. This one's just, they're hard as a rock. I mean, there's literally nothing left of them. So this seal's going to end up coming out, something I'm going to work on probably next week or tomorrow. I got to go pick up a seal. This one's pretty soft still, but hard to say. Depends. I'll probably, get them both. Better to, this much work to go ahead and get a new one. This one's completely gone until here. It's like I said, it's hard as a rock. So that needs to be replaced. Should have been when the other motor went in, but no big deal. Anyway, I'm trying to think of every single thing I wanted to tell you and not make the video too long. Let's see. Here's the motor. Like I said, last picture I sent you was long block. And I just gotten into valve cover to valve cover, but I had a lot more stuff to do. Clean out and get the oil cooler on. I put the sump on. I hadn't had it on before. One of my tricks is I take this plate and send it out and get it's got a drain plug in it now. Have the machinist spot face it there and machine it flat and put a drain plug, because CB Performance sends that plate without a drain plug in it. So you have to remove the whole thing every time you do an oil change. It's really not the best thing in the world. So I make it so that it's more serviceable. For when you want to do an oil change, you have a drain plug like every other car in the world. Let's see. That's what all this setup is on here. You put air to that line. It goes into the cylinder. It keeps the valves from opening so you can remove the retainers. Because for the cam break-in, you have to take out the inner springs. These are dual valve springs, one inside the other. So you take out the inners. That's the cam manufacturer's recommended break-in procedure. And then once you're done breaking the engine in, because it's going to be on my test stand, then you do this again and you put the dual valve springs back in and adjust the valves again. So it's quite a process, but that's the way it is to break the cam in. Oh yeah, I was going to say, let's see. The video is getting long. It's already over 4 minutes. I port matched the manifolds to the intakes. They come and they're real small, and so you have to spend time polishing this out, gasket matching it, making it match those ports. So I've been working on that. Both manifolds are all done. The gaskets are all matched up. And then what I was working on today was I pulled the carburetors apart. Here's the original, one of the original ones. They're Delorto's 40s. And so, they're 50 years old or so. And so they're kind of dirty when you get them, no big deal. You go through and I bought rebuild kits for them like I always do. And it's called kitting them. You just take them apart, clean them up, put rebuild kits in them. Well, as you're going through it, you can find all kind of interesting things. And so it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. These bearings are called spindle bearings. They get bound up, they get dirt in them or oil in them, gas in them, takes the grease out of them, and they get real bindy. Sometimes they're real smooth. My personal DeLordos on my personal engine, they didn't need the bearings replaced. When I tore this one apart to clean it and kit it, the shaft would barely spin because these spindle bearings are they're toast. So that was one of the things this morning. I called CB Performance. I was on the phone with them. It's not bad. It's like $40 for these bearings. So I ordered the bearings and some other jets and a few things. And this is all the parts to one carburetor. All this stuff. And so I'm going through those. So I'm going to, once the valve springs are done, then I can dress the motor and put all the tin on it. All of your tin is over here. You can see it. There's the old sticker. So anyway, here's all the stuff, your clutch, all your old crank, old heads, the old pistons and cylinders, and all that. So once all this is done and the valve train's all done, the carburetor's all done, I'll probably dress it tomorrow with all the tin. And I was hoping to run it this weekend on the test stand, but that bearing situation, the spindle bearings, kind of set me back. So I had to order those. I'll have them whenever they ship them, next week or something. And as soon as I can, I'll get the motor on the break-in stand and send you another video of it running at that time. And then after that, it's just going to be go ahead and getting it in the car and everything dialed in and driving. So I'm getting close. I'm on track. Everything's going good. Just wanted to send you this update. And as you can tell by a almost 7-minute video, it would have been a million texts and a million pictures. This is probably a much better way to do it. So anyway, I'll be talking to you guys soon. Oh yeah, I guess I'll meet you guys soon. You never have seen me. I don't know if I can flip the screen. I can just aim the phone at me. Hey, this is me. So anyway, I don't even know if I was aiming at my face or not. You can't see it. I couldn't see it on the screen. But all right, well, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.